Legend to the War here, and today we've got a Rating Your Doomstack video covering Azrik the Maze Keeper, one of the 4 rewards for the endgame Norska campaign. So this is the completion of the Tzeentch line. We've covered the Nurgle line and the Khorne line, so after this we still have to do the Slaanesh line, which I think his name is Kihar the Tormentor. So Azrik the Maze Keeper is a exalted Lord of Change. It was available in Warhammer 2, but he wasn't that good in Warhammer 2. You actually couldn't upgrade any of his skills. He's like preset, so I actually didn't really like getting him. And we've got a Female Balefiend army here, which I think is a pretty interesting choice, because I don't think we ever gotten a Female Balefiend Doomstack set in, and be interesting to see how these how the buffs, I guess, work with them. We're going up against Dark Elves. Now, I think this is quite a difficult choice to go up against, because what you want to be going up against is loads and loads of melee infantry, because your spell casting will just eradicate it. Now, we're going up against lots of single entities and lots of shades. That's not something I really see this as being amazing at dealing with, but let's see how it goes. We've also got a settlement garrison here, but I'll withdraw that as soon as I can. So we've got loads of Winds of Magic, and I think what Azrik the Maze Keeper is doing, he's providing barrier for his entire army, and also reducing the Winds of Magic cost. So we've got heaps of Winds of Magic, but it's also got cheap magic. So we'll be able to cast Flamestorm and Pit of Shades just loads of times. But again, because there's not like huge numbers of blobs, because they're just not going to blob up their infantry that much, we'll have to like spread out the spell casting. But we'll just have to wait and see. I really don't know what to expect at this point. See, a lot of these scenarios are so unusual that I just don't know what to do, because they're so uncommon. Alright, let me just back off for a bit. Wait, let them get their reinforcements together, because we want to try to make sure that our spells do the maximum damage. And it really doesn't make any difference how much is being sent at us. Okay, these guys here are determined to shoot us, so shoot at Azrik, who's got this on, and he's got regen anyway, so yeah, just leave that. Plus, I want to get these guys off the battlefield before we start fighting. Might also be a good idea to go and fight in the trees, because that'll make it more difficult for... yeah, get these ones out of here. That'll make it more difficult for their shades to rip us to shreds. Just let them get together. Maybe even let their units heal a little bit. It gave us a decisive defeat in the auto-resolve, but I kind of feel like it was being a bit unfair to us. A bit. Because, yeah, if we have a look here, we got Flamestorm at 6 Winds of Magic, which is super cheap because it's one of the best spells in the game. And Pit of Shades also at 6 Winds of Magic. We got Tzeentch's Firestorm, 9 Winds of Magic. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to hide here. Yeah, they're coming at us. Alright, let's push you into the ground. Now, Female Balefiends are kind of medium sort of fighters. They're not terrible, but not awful as well. Now, they're ranked as large. They're not going to fight particularly well in the forest, but neither are all these damn dragons and hydras, and that's what I'm counting on here. So yes, I'm taking a debuff, but so will they. We're also going to be fairly protected against the missiles. Alright, we got 233 Winds of Magic there, which is our maximum. Let's wait for them to get in here. Maybe go start fighting that Hydra there. Because I think with this kind of army here, you want durability. And one way to increase durability is increase your resistances or reduce the enemy damage output. So that's what my thoughts are behind fighting in the forest. Because we've got regeneration in terms of barrier regen, but that requires them sort of not to take too much damage, health damage wise. So we'll cast some spells as soon as their infantry start coming in here, but I may need to cast a spell to get them to do that. Someone here's being targeted. Try to get him into the middle so he'll be a bit safer. Alright, let's see what buffs and debuffs have we got here. Oh, that was... Okay, I think that did damage to ourselves. Yeah, some good items in here. A little bit of damage there. And yeah, try to get rid of anything that's shooting at us as best we can. He's got regen, so it'd actually be good if he takes on a lot of the damage. Yeah, it seems like this just isn't the kind of army that's just going to send everything at us all at once for us to just, like, pop down 20 flamestorms and burn them all to death. As much as I'd like to do that, I don't think that's going to happen here. But yeah, we haven't taken much damage. We've dealt out a decent amount ourselves. It is on very hard battle difficulty as well, which we can show here. Yeah, difficulty modifier 8. Azrik himself is an okay fighter. Still got heaps of magic. But yeah, the problem here is there's all these damn shades. How much armor does Shades have? I was just thinking about possibly using Burning Head instead. But yeah, lots of missile resistance definitely comes in handy here, and I think they've got some stuff here that provides missile resistance, doesn't they? Yeah, as long as their leadership is above 50%, they've got extra 20% missile resist. That's good.
The raven gods, fickle whims.
But look at that, they're not even sending in their infantry to come and fight us. They just don't want to. They're ranged focused here. Okay, mass pit of shades coming in there. Good. It's deleting them. Do we have spell mastery? He does, but I don't think they do. No. Because he's got Greater Arcane Conduit, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. If you could somehow get both Azrik the Mazekeeper and Gurgle Spew Pissy Pants, that'd be a really good combination. But they would hate each other, Nurgle and Tzeentch. I can never remember the Nurgle dude name. Gurgle Spew Rot Dick. I just can't remember. Very memorable lord with a not memorable name. And what's the other one? Kilgore Slaymaim or something. You can't really come up with a more corn name than that. And what's the Slanesh one? Kiha the Tormentor? Why can't it be a bit more Slanesh-y, like penis enlargement in the butthole man or something? I don't know. It's something just really not subtle. So Kiha the Tormentor and Azrik the Mazekeeper were the two characters that were in Warhammer 2. Yeah, they just they don't really want to go into the forest here too much. But so far, the army's doing really well. Yeah, there's a lot of Dark Elves here to keep in mind. And a whole bunch of spellcasters is traditionally not something that you would use to take out a whole bunch of single entities. But I think the barrier here is what's making the difference. Because, well, it's only 800. Like, these single entities might hit one of them, but then it hits a different one each time, giving the other one a chance to regenerate. See, this guy over here hasn't been hit that much. And he might actually get a chance to regen. And that's the great benefit of barrier over regeneration, is that barrier is unlimited. But 800 is kind of low.
Is expected.
Man, that is some just quality AI right there. I got a better idea. Got a better idea. Oh yeah, top quality AI right here. Best minds in CA at work. I don't know what they're trying to thought behind blobbing that many units there. It's all good. So how much did that cost us? A bit more than 11 because I overcasted it. Well, that's a very powerful spell. It's like Pit of Shades times 2, essentially. Yeah, they won't send their infantry into melee, but they'll send their spellcaster lords into melee. Yeah, our army's in good shape. The thing is here to just, it's so important to keep them together. I get it. So many people are just like, all they does is blob up. But there's a reason for blobbing up. Okay, there's a reason for it. It amplifies their strengths and minimizes their weaknesses. It's called fighting as a unit. It's teamwork. Spreads out the damage so that nobody takes severe damage and they all take a little bit, which they shrug off. Because in order to kill off Tzeentch units, you need to do like severe damage very quickly in order so that they don't get that barrier back. So we're mitigating that, making sure that doesn't happen. I think the AI has just decided it just doesn't know how to deal with this army. Has no idea what to do. Because they're shooting at us, it's doing a bit of damage, but it's all spread out, which is exactly what I was planning on.
Succumb to my gaze.
One thing this army definitely does lack, though, is a lot of speed. Like, speed 57 is pretty good for essentially an infantry unit, but they're not going to get any faster than that. The other thing is with this army as well, is that it's clearly very heavily magic focused, but we don't seem to need to use the magic for the most part. We're winning most of these fights in melee. Most of them, not all. Yeah, where an opportune moment shows up, we'll use it. Oh yeah. I really like Flamestorm. Such a good spell. This guy here, if he could just not get hit for a few moments, he'll recover his barrier really quickly. Come on. He keeps getting hit just every now and again.
Embrace the change.
Come on.
This world is a game.
They're shooting at us. They're actually going to hurt him. Yeah, they've hurt him a little bit. I think they're pinpoint trying to get this one dude here because he's low on health. Maybe don't use that.
Chaos good.
A few guys here that are taking some damage. But for the most part, I think we're okay. Yeah, we were definitely fighting better in the forest, that's for sure. Maybe let's get back in there. Like, just about everyone's used up all their barrier. They've got a lot of shades shooting at us now. We don't want anyone getting killed, so get in there. I told you to be on the ground. Alright guys, get over here. These ones here trying to get at us. Stop shooting at us just for a moment. I gotta get back in here and recover that barrier. So in terms of overall casualties, they've lost 3,000 troops, so they should be getting army losses any moment now. Alright, all of our Fimir went hidden, so all I can see is Azrik at the moment, and that's fine, because at least he regenerates. That's it, everyone's recovering some barrier, but they're probably going to spot us in a moment. But just keep shooting at Azrik. Because if we look at him... Yeah, oh wow. He had 95% missile resistance. Seeing if there's any like potions of healing or something. Oh yeah, this one's got one, but he's not that damaged. I think the army loss has got to be really close because we've barely taken any bounce power damage ourselves.
Of course.
Okay, any chance we could hit that from there? Yep. Surely not because we withdrew our garrison reinforcements as the game like, oh well, he withdrew like 90% of his troops. Surely not. There's still a few heroes and stuff out this way. And we should have used that to try to take out the ball throwers. Yeah, but every now and again coming out. You know, got the barrier up at the moment, so that's fine.
This world is a game.
Sniveling weaklings. Behold, true power.
Can't do anything about that one unless it lands. I mean, Azrik, actually, Azrik, you could go up there and fight it. Your stats are probably better because that's a wizard. Even if it is on a dragon, you should be okay.
Chaos Girl. Free Quemunia.
I'm going to take out those artillery. I think we're pretty close to army losses. All the enemy reinforcements have now come onto the battlefield. It's just a handful of high value units in it. What are they doing over there? This is weird. No, he's actually not really doing that well against that. Yeah, don't bother. Let's go up to this one over here. If that one wants to come over here, let it. But outside of that, oh, hang on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, make up your mind. No, not you. Get back down.
Impossible is expected. Chaos Girl.
There we go. That's what I want to see. Now we can take it on. You guys get over here.
The Wind Watcher schemes.
Good. Smash that Lord really quickly there.
The Eye of Finch.
Still got a bit of magic left, but no particularly good casts.
Chaos.
Still no army losses. There we go. There we go. I was going to say, that performed really well. I think it was largely due as well to the AI's behavior. This is weird. These weird armies that we get, to see weird AI behavior where they just, it doesn't, I don't understand what they're thinking. It's not, you know, usually I come up with a plan to attack their tactics, but there wasn't any tactics. It was like, I'll use some of my units, some of the times, and the rest of them will just watch. Okay. Look, it handled the single entities well. The barrier was really good. I imagine without the barrier, we would have taken... We might have even lost the battle. Because there was so many times where they had all run out of barrier, but just went back and recovered it. Yeah, the magic lasted a good time. There were no particularly good blobs, but everyone got, you know, a decent number of kills. Yeah, let's have a look at this.
It's Tzeentch.
So, Azrik the Maze Keeper, you didn't max him out, but let's have a look at his skill line. Let's see what he does. No, first thing though, let's have a look at his details. So, Gift of the Eagle, wins a magic power reserve +5 per turn. That's crap, because the Norska short campaign victory provides you with 30 power reserve per turn. So, yeah, that's fucking useless. That's absolutely useless, because you'll easily get short campaign victory before you get this. So that's crap. Winds of Magic cost -25% for all spells, all characters. That's really good. Enables flaming attacks for Lord's Army. Iffy, depending on what you're going up against. Enable magical attacks for Lord's Army. That's always good. Barrier, hit points plus 80%. Sorry, 800 Lord's Army. Okay, well, the Winds of Magic cost -25% for all spells. That's really good, because it doesn't even have to be attached to the army to get that. I've got to say, though, that the Nurgle one is still better. Definitely better. Because I found that with Norsca, I just don't really need to rely that much on magic. Their magic's good and everything. They've got good laws of magic. I just don't need to rely on them because Norsca's got really good units. Alright, let's have a look at his skills and see what he's doing. He's just a generic Lord of Change. Yeah, spell line, red line, blue line, no melee line, more or less not. There's nothing special here. Yeah. It all just comes down to Gift of the Eagle. But, okay, in terms of, like, ranking the 3 different, like, rewards that you get from the Chaos Gods, Nurgle is still at the top. There's no doubt about it. This guy's definitely, like, second. It's good. It's good. It just, the Nurgle one is so much better. And then, way down below is Kilgore Slay Maim. That guy is, like, garbage extreme. Like, piece of crap. Still need to go and have a look at Kiha the Tormentor. But, as far as the rankings go, in terms of the 4, it goes Nurgle, Tzeentch, and then Khorne. I'm not sure where Kiha the Tormentor will be. I imagine he'll probably be not as good as Azrik the Maze Keeper, but he's got to be better than Kilgore Slay Maim, because that guy just sucked. But yeah, Azrik the Maze Keeper, good lord for sure. I'd personally still choose the Nurgle line. And the Fimir Balefiends, I think that's a reasonable choice to have in this army. The other option is maybe going with, oh god, shut up. Going with the Werekins, because they have regeneration by default, and they'll have, if we could have a look at one. Is there one around here? If we could just have a look at one. I think they'd actually complement this army better. Definitely not Shaman Sorcerer. Yeah, if we got a Skinwolf Werekin, right? Here's the things to consider. The Fimir Balefiend doesn't have in their skill line anything that increases their hit points. But these guys here do. Now, anything that increases your hit points also increases your barrier by that respective amount. So if we have a look at this. With any Fimir Balefiend, while they do have melee line, they don't have anything that boosts their hit points. You can see here their barrier is at 800. Now, if you had a Skinwolf Werekin instead, where did I hurt? This one over here. When you get the Unnatural Thirst, you would also increase the barrier. So 30% of that would be an extra 240. Just quick maths. So you'd end up with 1040 barrier. So more barrier than what the other guys had, which would obviously be better. They've got regeneration by default, so they'll maintain that high barrier for the most part, most of the time. They're really good in melee, and then you could just use Azrik the Maze Keeper's spells instead of all these guys. But I don't necessarily disagree with this army choice. I think it was interesting to at least see how it goes, but I do imagine that a Skinwolf Werekin would be better, maybe the ideal candidate for his army. Because with the Nurgle dude, it was actually better to give him like trolls because of the horrible regeneration. It was so good for him. And the physical resistance. But yeah, this guy here. See, if you want to have a Fimir Balefiend army, you can totally do that, and they'll still cast this as cheaply. They don't need to be attached to him. But yeah, the barrier for the Skinwolf Werekins, that would make them ridiculously strong. That being said, this army handled it just fine, so if you want to do this, you totally can. So it worked. It worked. In terms of rating it, it's sort of hard to rate these sort of armies, but practicality, yeah, medium. You're not going to get into the late campaign because you got to wait until you've got, your stuff finished. Well, this guy's he's done the correct thing, and he's actually gotten tier 2 on. Shut up. Tier 2 on all 3 of them. That is the correct way to go about it, and that just takes a long time. But yeah, in terms of practicality, it's not overly expensive. It's strong. It's strong against something it shouldn't be. Very much anti-infantry. Good amount of winds of magic there. So yeah, it's reasonably practical for like super late campaign I'm talking about. Early game, no. You're just not going to get it. Is it strong? Yes, it's really strong. It's not the strongest army in the game, but it's pretty strong. Could be stronger. And it's reasonably easy to use. So overall, good marks. But yeah, I do think that it would be better with a skin wolfwarekin army, but it's negligible. Like, it did its job just fine. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.